Hello, hello. Ooh, I bumped the microphone. Let's talk about games, happiness, and productivity. In her book, Reality is Broken, Jane McGonigal explains that there are two important emotional states to productivity and happiness. The first is flow, and the second is fiero. Flow is a word coined by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He wrote the book Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience. He defines flow as a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience is so enjoyable that people will continue to do it, even at great cost, for the sheer sake of doing it. There are four main qualifications for someone to enter a state of flow. Number one, clear goals. That means knowing exactly what is expected of you. Number two, frequent feedback. There needs to be a way for you to know whether or not you're doing well. Number three, low stakes of failure. When people are afraid to fail, they're less likely to take risks, they're less creative, and they learn slower. And most importantly, number four, a balance between challenge and skills. People in a state of flow are challenged enough that they feel proud and productive in the work they are accomplishing, but not so challenged that they feel prolonged frustration and hopelessness. People in a state of flow are highly motivated, cooperative, productive, excited, and in an optimal state to learn and grow. But flow is only half of the equation to true productive happiness. The other half is fiero. Fiero is an Italian word that directly translates to pride, but the actual meaning is much more powerful than that. In Reality is Broken, Jane McGonigal describes fiero as this. Fiero is what we feel after we triumph over adversity. You know it when you feel it, and when you see it. That's because we almost all experience fiero in exactly the same way. We throw our arms over our head, and we yell. This is the motion that people chase while competing, whether it be for a raise at work, or trying to get a date, or scoring a touchdown. Having fiero means having succeeded. So that means that people need their flow and their hard work to end in a reachable goal. No one wants to work on something that they think is impossible. So in summary, a proper, consistent flow towards reachable goals is what leads to fiero. Now, I'm willing to bet that you don't throw your arms into the air every day at work or at school and yell in triumph. So what gives? How can we get more fiero in our lives? McGonigal explains that games are exceptionally good at giving us feelings of flow and fiero. But to understand why this is true, we need to first answer a very important question. What is a game? There are a few definitions that share a few key points. Veteran game developer Katie Salen, in her book Game Design Fundamentals, says, a game is a system in which players engage in an artificial conflict, defined by rules, that results in a quantifiable outcome. In Reality is Broken, Jane McGonigal says that there are four main qualifications for a game. 1. A goal that players will work to achieve. 2. Rules providing limitations. 3. A feedback system giving player progress. And 4. Voluntary participation. And let's hear one more definition by play theorist Brian Sutton Smith. At its most elementary level, we can define a game as an exercise of voluntary control systems in which there is an opposition between forces confined by procedure and rules in order to produce a disequilibrial outcome. So what did we learn from that? Based on these definitions, a game must include 1. A clear goal. 2. Measurable feedback. 3. Rules that provide limitations. And 4. Voluntary participation. Sounds a little familiar, huh? The qualifications for something to be a game aren't that different than the qualifications to create flow. Games are virtually always designed to have achievable goals. This explains why flow and fiero are so easily achieved by gaming. A game which has low stakes of failure and a good balance between challenge and skills is the perfect setup for flow. Now, I'm not saying that the key to productivity and happiness is to turn everything into a literal game. But I'm saying we could use basic game design techniques to have more productivity and happiness in work and school environments. That means clear, reachable goals, consistent, measurable feedback, Low stakes for failure to allow room for learning and growth. Limitations to push people creatively and to prevent burnout. And rewarding challenges that do not overwhelm. So that is basically it, everyone. I have actually tried implementing these game design techniques myself. I designed and played an isolation game to help keep myself productive and sane during these months in quarantine. And you know what, guys? It really did work. If you're curious about the game I created, leave a comment and maybe I'll make another video explaining what it was. If you want to learn more about this subject in general, I am happy to answer questions in the comments. You can reach out to me. I'm going to leave a link to my portfolio website below. That's all for now. Thank you so much. See ya.